Phil Yates here with the make-or-break rules for drafting a winning fantasy football team. First, focus on value. All fantasy positions are not created equal. Over the past 2 seasons, a running back has scored 240 fantasy points 16 times compared to 28 times for wide receivers. Running back value drops off quickly, and if you don't use the early rounds to stock up, your fantasy team stock could go down. You should take wide receivers early. Why? Because wide receivers are the second most important position in fantasy. You simply can't have too many. Remember, running backs and receivers comprise at least 4 of your 9 roster spots. You need deep talent at both positions to survive a long season. Be patient at quarterback. Sure, we'd all love to have these guys, but don't forget, there are a lot of good fantasy QBs. In 2022, 18 different quarterbacks averaged more than 15 fantasy points per game. And of the 15 players who appeared on the most championship round teams in 2022, just 2 of them were quarterbacks. Yes, you can win your fantasy league with an Allen, Hurts, or Mahomes, but you can also win by keeping up with the Joneses. Draft a tight end first or last. Tight end has a top tier of 1 and then a group of solid options, but depth at the position makes the next group of tight ends almost interchangeable. So if you don't get this guy and you follow my advice and target running backs and wide receivers early, don't panic. You can wait on tight end and still win your league. In fantasy football, defense doesn't win championships. 2022's top fantasy defense, the New England Patriots, entered the season as an afterthought and were drafted in less than a quarter of leagues. The point? Defense is the least predictable position in fantasy. Yet someone in your league will still draft the defense early. Don't be that person. Finding breakout players late in drafts wins leagues, so remember, upside matters late. 5 of the top 15 scoring receivers at year's end were drafted 30th or later at the position. Late in your draft, always look to young players with paths to playing time. Upside, upside, upside. Here's something else. Know the lingo. One example, streaming. Streaming means to use a bench or waiver wire find as a short-term starter due to a favorable matchup. Some successful managers stream tight end, defense, and kicker all season long. You could be next. Remember, your draft night roster won't be your Week 18 roster. Trades, savvy use of the waiver wire, injuries, all will transform your team. And that's the fun of fantasy football. Draft night is just the start. Get in the game and go to ESPN.com/FFL or download the ESPN Fantasy app to draft.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.